Good afternoon, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Long time no speak from my point of view. I do believe it's been 17 years since we spoke. Thank you for being here.
Oh, a mere few orbits around your sun.
Friend, I'd like to discuss a little bit further the ego issue regarding second-guessing internal dialogues with spirit and the like. Now, over the years, we discussed when we first met, guides and the like, and certain things. How, as time's progressed, these communications do occur, but at some of the times, part of myself kicks in and says, it's not happening, it's not a reality, you're fantasizing, you're making it up, you're playing with yourself. So, I probably should have worded that better. But with regards to that, how can you be, and I know 100% certain is an objective phrase, but how can you be certain that the dialogues you are having internally aren't just made up? For example, about 12 months ago, laying in bed with my partner, etc., and I put out some thoughts to say hello, and it was either you or you in aspect that dialogued with me, and it wasn't a dialogue, it was a dissertation with 4 topics, and I remember the last comment, you will remember this. So I'm articulating that back to you now to establish whether that was you as an individual or whether that was you in aspect through my own consciousness dialoguing with myself.
It was your own higher self tapping into our frequency and delivering the information in our flavor.
Okay. So in that, then, how can I encourage those interactions
by
ongoingly?
Not needing them to happen.
So letting go of the requirement for them to happen.
Absolutely. All expectation needs to be let go of so that you can simply allow what needs to be there to be there.
Okay.
Paradoxically, by needing something to happen, you fill the space in which the thing can actually occur, and thus there's no room for it to occur.
Okay.
You fill that space with the need for it to happen. No longer having the need for it to happen empties the space, and what needs to happen will happen.
So would that then be a corollary? I've been also putting out requests to the audience, as it were, to interact with you in a dream state. I'm still waiting for the circumstances for that to drop. Would that be sort of the similar thing as the
actually, what you're waiting to do is remember that it's already happened.
Okay, then I'd like to remember that it's occurred. Because
then go ahead.
Well, I don't. I'm uncertain of how to access that memory in this now.
Don't need to.
That's sort of going in a circle for me, and I'm uncertain how to address that, because if you're saying that...
Why is it so important for you to access that memory? That's another way of asking you why you need it so much.
Okay, because the only other time that we've interacted on that level was a hoot, and I enjoyed it.
A hoot?
And I enjoyed it. Well, I could use other terms, but I'm...
All right. But does that mean that other things in your life are not as much of a hoot?
Well said, well said.
Perhaps when you add more hooting to your own life, you will increase your vibration to the level on which more hooting will take place.
Indeed, indeed. All right, I just wanted to cover off on those 2 issues regarding the internal dialogues and how to be able to be certain within yourself that...
Well, again, the first step is not to care one way or another whether you have to be so certain. The idea, again, is to focus on the things that give you joy and just get on about the business of living your life to the best of your capacity in acting on the things that give you passion. And trusting that whatever else you need to know, you will know. And whatever other experiences you need to have, you will have. Remember, you've made appointments, you've made agreements to have certain things happen in certain timing. And the only way you can miss those appointments is by worrying that you will miss those appointments.
Touché.
So, does that help?
It does, brother. It does, brother. Thank you.
All right. Owl, see you later.
Owl. Thank you very much.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
All the way from New York, just for one day.
All the way. All right. About that far on your planet from my perspective.
Super excited to be here.
Oh, all right.
I have a question in regards to ever since I started learning about your teachings, and it became evident to me that we actually can learn so much just by being and paying attention to what's going on around us, because nature, our physical nature itself, is a tremendous teacher.
Yes.
And I think that's why you're bringing a lot of analogies in our physical lives, same analogy as a scuba diver, for example.
Yes.
And when you were talking about our ego and our higher self having a conversation, it
Yes.
came to me evident that we actually doing the same thing
Yes.
with our children
Yes.
on a daily basis.
Yes.
We're creating this bond and this trust that it all comes with love, and we just have to negotiate and create this kind of a trust relationship with our children.
Yes.
And once they do that, basically I'm looking at my children right now like my ego in that analogy, basically. Once my children start to trust me enough, we create that bond, and that's where...
Well, understand that your children actually already trust you implicitly. The idea is that they trusted you enough to be fed whatever it is you telepathically fed them about what you believe to be true. So the idea is to allow yourself and your duty as a parent to be clear that the idea that you love them is already clear. But the ideas of how you express the concept of love may need to be brought into alignment. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just talking generalities. The idea is that children are completely implicitly trusting of the parent, and they receive whatever they receive from the parent as if it were the perfect symbol or representation of the parent's love. Now, if the parent is sending negative ego belief systems down that avenue toward the child, then the child will start to interpret negative belief system ego structures as a symbol of love, and that will be the only symbol the child will know, and the only symbol the child will themselves be able to express in life until they get a handle on how to bring that back into alignment with symbols that are more positively representative of the underlying current of unconditional love that is always there. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right.
Going further, there's a definition that we talk about a lot, and you were talking about children being older souls that are coming here as the teachers.
Yes, especially now in this day and age, many of the children being born on your planet and that have been being born now for about the last 20 years or so are, in a sense, not only a new generation, they are actually a different species. And it is representative of souls that have a lot of experience in many of them, that are cross-connecting to many different experiences in many different parallel realities. And by the genetic alteration that is happening within them as they restructure their embryonic bodies, they are creating a genetic structure that will give rise to a personality structure that will not forget as much of who they are as beings, as whole beings, as spirits.
My question was, I'm trying to define for myself, is there such a thing as old soul, if we are eternal beings?
Well, it's a euphemism. Old in this context means they have a certain kind of experience they are bringing to the reality they are interacting with. It's not really a measure of time. It's a measure of the degree of certain kinds of experiences and knowledge they are bringing to share with any particular reality they might be interacting with.
So they are more experienced in the sense in this particular reality than some other soul.
They are more experienced in the kind of knowledge required by this particular reality in order to advance. That's what old soul means. It's not really a measure of time. In the same way that we know many humans sometimes misinterpret the phrase light year and think it's a measurement of time when in fact it's a measurement of distance.
I see.
You understand?
I do.
So, old in this sense is simply a euphemism. It doesn't mean old in terms of time. Does that help?
Does. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bashar.
Bashar, we have a question from one of our listeners.
All right.
This one is, Bashar, do you have an ego?
We have a sufficient amount of ego to keep us focused in physical reality to whatever degree we wish to be focused in it. But again, we remind you, ego by itself is not a negative term. It's just a focusing mechanism. We do not, however, experience the idea of the negative ego.
Do you experience the full range of emotions as humans do?
We do not experience what you would call the emotions of fear.
Sadness?
We do not experience that.
Anger?
We do not experience that.
Frustration?
We do not experience that. Go on, what else you got?
elation?
Absolutely.
Do you give yourself a pat on the back when you do a good job?
The enjoyment of doing the job is enough, because it is far more satisfying than any pat on the back could ever be. And we do not need to pat ourselves on the back because we know creation has our back.
Oh. So when we have a more balanced ego structure,
Yes.
how would a human experience themselves?
As a joyful, playful child. Just experiencing themselves rather than thinking about themselves experiencing it.
It's beautiful.
It is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Okay, going on the line of your definition of abundance.
Yes.
Can you define need?
Again, we understand that sometimes certain terms in your language may have different meanings, and we can understand that it can be confusing at times, especially when some of these concepts are attempting to be translated into linear space-time reality terminology, which may not be accurately representative of some of the concepts that are being sent, but may be close enough. Need in the context of a positive frame of reference is simply that which is necessary for the continued support of a being. Need in the negative sense is that which the ego may think is required, but may in fact only be the idea of a reinforcement of negative attributes or negative beliefs to aggrandize the self and make the self seem more important.
Okay, so knowing that, need being I know that I only really need, the very basics of food, and I know you've had a list from before of certain things. You have to sleep a certain amount, you have to dream a certain amount.
Yes.
There are those needs, but then, all those can be met without really experiencing much of a joyful life.
Oh, they can be, but believe me, if you do them in the purest possible way, breathing is a joy, eating is a joy, sleeping is bliss.
Okay.
So, yes, and again, you can see there is a different bifurcation of the terminology and the different definitions and the subtleties of the definitions in the one word your language has expressed as the word need.
Yes.
So, yes, you can do them in a sense from a lower vibration. You can do the basics, the fundamentals. But if you only look at them, if you only define those basics as just getting by, then of course you will only experience them in a relatively flat sort of vibration. But if you understand that these basic needs are the very foundation of your ability to have the experience you are having, then they become joyful celebrations. They become things you are grateful for and give gratitude and appreciation to, because they allow you to have the experience that is allowing you to discover more and more and more expansively who you really are. So they all play a part in letting you do that. In other words, you could say, well, the deep sea diver can sort of say, well, yes, I recognize the need for this breathing apparatus. That's all well and good. But when you are 50 feet below, believe me, without that breathing apparatus, suddenly you're very grateful for it. Because it allows you to breathe in an environment that gives you an experience you otherwise could not have. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Does that help?
Yes, following that, for instance, I don't think I need a hung, the musical instrument on the stage, the steel pan.
Yes.
I want one of those, but I don't need one.
Actually, you may find that in the positive context, you actually need one, and that wanting can actually be the negative context.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know how to not judge the want of things.
How about just allowing it to come to you?
Okay.
What about that device gets you so charged up? gets you so excited.
I have a hard time putting in words, I think. I don't know.
But it does excite you.
Absolutely.
You feel that vibration when you look at it, when you think of it, when you hear it, yes?
Yes.
You feel that connection, yes?
Yes.
Then, that is, along with the vision of yourself playing it, that is the only language needed. The feeling and the picture of you playing it in the ideal scenario is the only language needed, the only symbol needed for you to then hand over to the higher self and then forget about it.
Okay.
Let it go. Trusting that the higher mind now knows what you truly vibrationally need, and that it will then bring about the synchronicities and circumstances necessary for the manifestation of that, if, in fact, that is representative of the highest state. Or it might bring you something you couldn't even imagine that would actually allow you to experience more excitement and more joy than you're imagining in your scenario now. Either way, the point is, if you let that go and then continue to simply act at every given moment on whatever option is the most exciting option you have the ability to act on, you will then be trusting by those actions the higher self, and it is leading you. You will trust that it is leading you through those connections, no matter how winding they may seem, no matter how much they may seem to have nothing to do with your original desire. You will trust that because the excitement is there in each of those acts, it is connected, and you will trust that your higher mind is luring you through those excitements to the idea of the manifestation of any symbol that represents your joy and excitement. Did that make sense?
Perfect sense, yes.